My audience knows right now you've talked about Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Nevada in this interview as published stuff. That would still give Trump 271. Is it your belief right now as you speak to me, based on everything you have published and not yet published, that Donald Trump did not genuinely win the 2024 election?
As of right now, every set of data and additional evidence that we have found points to a serious concern that our election system could be compromised. It could have changed the outcome of not only the presidential election of the 24, but it could have also impacted state, Senate, and House positions that would go on to impact Congress.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to say to my...
Isn't that quite the statement? Isn't that quite the statement? So Nathan literally said that, sorry, I'm trying to get this up here. Nathan literally said that this election, the 2024 election, could be compromised. And I said it, I felt it, I had a gut feeling about it, but I had no proof. But now it looks like proof is starting to show in regards to this election and the possibility of the election being stolen or at least compromised in a position that gave Trump an advantage. So when you hear and listen to the interview between David Pakman and Nathan Taylor. Nathan Taylor is part of the Election Truth Alliance. He basically claims the ETA asserts that statistical anomalies in states like Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Nevada suggest possible vote manipulation. They use heat maps comparing voter turnout with candidate performance, claiming that the data shows non-random algorithmic patterns consistent with ballot stuffing or digital manipulation. So they're saying the ETA is saying and putting out the claims with evidence, not just baseless claims, with evidence that this is a strong possibility that the 2024 election was stolen from Kamala Harris. Okay? So, not only that, let's talk into like the specific findings. In Pennsylvania, which is a state that I originally thought that election night went too quick for Pennsylvania. Something went wrong when it comes to those ballots and the voting count machines. Something went wrong. So, in Pennsylvania, ETA claims that their model shows up to 190K to 200K anomalous votes, potentially enough to overturn Trump's reporting margin of 121K. So essentially what they do is that they use heat maps to show the voting ranges when it comes to actual votes casted in the ballots. Similar concerns were raised with Nevada. They cite evidence from counties where hand-counted precincts differed sharply from machine-counted ones, suggesting a possible machine-related manipulation. So I can't explain it as good as someone who is investigated these claims can, obviously. But the heat maps basically show the amount of votes versus the amount of voter turnout, to my understanding. And I think this is very, very credible evidence when it comes to proving voter manipulation, voter fraud, and essentially a stolen election fraud, which is not far off when it comes to Donald Trump, because he is the biggest fraud of them all. He pointed the finger saying that his election in 2020 was stolen. Well, guess what? Guess what, baby? We're pointing the finger back at you with actual proof. And that's the one thing. That's the one thing when it comes to Trump's administration. There is never proof. Even when it comes to the Tylenol, I think this is the basis of Trump's administration. His claims never come with proof or facts, and his base does not give two shits about that, which is scary. They are blind followers to a blind allegiance of MAGA. But when now other people are investigating these claims with no bias attached to it, and actual proof comes up, such as heat maps that show the difference in actual voters versus voter possible manipulation when it comes to the electronic voting counting machines, it is very strong evidence that in particular states like Pennsylvania and Nevada, which I said we need to watch out for, very suspicious. It's just funny that now this data is coming out about our election night and our election, which could now pose significant threat to future elections when it comes to election fraud and election manipulation.